Not our main kind of order of operations is we just passed the guard, we got the side control. Next step is mount, submit from the mount, or if he shows you his back, submit from the back. That's kind of the traditional hierarchy of jiu-jitsu positions, right? But to mount can be tricky sometimes, especially if someone's really knowledgeable. So, for instance, if you're on top real quick, let's just say, right? When the bottom person keeps their arms in really tight like this, it's actually relatively easy to mount, okay? All he has to do is kind of turn his hips to face my legs a little bit, right? And then he can either move my legs out of the way if they're kind of bugging him. Either way, he's gonna step over and achieve the mount, right? But if the bottom person is more sensitive about framing with this elbow, you see how he's moving right now? He's less comfortable right now because I have my elbow right inside his knee, okay? You can also make a grip on the pant leg as the bottom person, but either way, I'm not allowing this knee anywhere near my body, all right? And what happens now is if he goes to mount me, same way, he sit through, go all the way, I can escape out the back door, oftentimes either get to his back, or at the very least, get back to my closed guard, right? So all that happened was I kept my elbow framing the inside of his thigh here. I'm not tucking my arm inside the pocket where it can get smashed by his hip pressure, right? I'm keeping a frame. I can also frame the hip too. If the hip is closer, I'll frame the hip. If I can reach the knee, I'll frame the knee. Sometimes, like I said, you can grab the pants and kind of keep the leg outstretched like this. But either way, if he ignores this and goes to mount me anyway, go ahead. I'll escape every time, right? There's no way he can mount me without leaving the opportunity for me to do the elbow escape. I'm basically just keeping my leg flat, and as soon as he distributes his weight over to this side of my body with his knee, this leg becomes very light, and I just bring my leg under it. That's it. Put him in the half guard, put him in the closed guard from there, whatever. So his main objective now, if he feels me doing this, is to first get rid of my elbow. So there's a couple different ways to do that. Sometimes if I'm just pushing, like just stiff arming his hip like this, you can just turn your hips to face my head mat, like that, and then pick my elbow with your hand. That's it. And then it goes back to his knees. And now when you're on your knees, you want to keep your knees so close to my ear, right? And this elbow close to my other ear, that there's no space for me to get the elbow back in. You guys see that? My arm becomes completely isolated out here and pretty much useless. So now if he turns his hips and goes to mount, now turn your hips, right? And now scoot yourself north a little bit. Yeah, see what happened to my arm? It got propped, jacked up, way all the way up on my head, right? So now, if he goes to slap his foot over to the mount, there's simply not enough time for me to get my elbow in and do that backdoor escape that I just did, all right? So his whole objective is the mount. If I block the mount with a strong frame, or I'm framing his knee, or I'm doing something, he's got to get rid of this first. He can peel it up. Sometimes you can use your right knee. You can turn your hips and use your right knee to scoop it up and then peel it up, right? Another option would be to use your left knee to kind of go inside my elbow and then slide your knee back up. That's another good way to trap the arm. Any way he can find to get my arm propped to the outside of his body is totally fine. And then once he's here, he's good to start going to the mount. He's going to turn his hips. He's going to scoot north a little first. Yeah, before you even step over it, right? So you're scooting your butt up by the side of my head after you turn the hips. So you turn, yeah, now a little scoot, yeah, right there. See how my arm is way up here? No way can I get it inside anymore. And now, if he needs to, he can bring my pant legs, hold here, and bring both my legs to the right, yep, and then slap the foot right over, okay?